So here's the thing that's going to start shaking it up. We're going to change. After a while, the East India Tea Company, which is a way that England makes a ton of money from India, because everyone drank tea. Mm-hmm. Coffee's not a big thing yet. People really didn't even like coffee, the ones that had it. That's going to be later. But this is their way to make a lot of money. And so they need to make more money. Tea is a good way to do it. And the tea company is about to go out of business. They haven't been doing well. Mm-hmm. So if we have this Tea Act, it'll make them a little bit more money. It'll make England a lot more money. And not only that, they say that you can only buy tea from the East India Tea Company.
So they basically create a monopoly.
It is a monopoly. Yeah. And I even have Mr. Monopoly himself to show that. Exactly.
So the East India Tea Company was given a monopoly over selling this product to the colonies. Mm-hmm. Basically, Parliament said, this is the only company that you can buy tea from.
Right.
So just imagine if you couldn't go to McDonald's and buy that wonderful tea from McDonald's. Mm-hmm. You had to just go straight to Burger King and buy sweet tea.
Yeah, and we're in the South, so this works really well, too. Yeah. Think about Coke. It seems like everybody in the South loves Coke. I'm from Ohio. Pepsi was like the drink up there. But if you could only buy Pepsi products, so anywhere you went, you couldn't buy like Gatorades, you couldn't buy teas, whatever, you're anything. Water. The only carbonated beverage you could have, and even sparkling water, is Pepsi. All right? People would flip out, especially in the South.
You trying to tell me what I can buy and who I can buy it from?
Exactly. Yeah, people are going to be ticked about that.
Bye, Felicia.
So this is when we get a big meeting together. And part of this thing is we're going to come up with these kind of like colonial shadow governments is how I like to think of them. They're called the Committees of Correspondence. Spoiler, this is one of the most missed questions on the test that I have every year. Mm-hmm. People forget, what the heck is this thing called? Yeah. Committee of Correspondence.
So it's totally different from the Sons of Liberty, right?
Yes.
So the Sons of
Liberty... Although they're going to be a part of it, kind of. They're two different organizations.
But the Sons of Liberty are like the protesters.
Right.
And they organize protest efforts and boycotts. But what does the actual Committees of Correspondence do?
So their whole job is to kind of let everybody know what's going on, okay? Because they can't tweet. Like, they can't send this stuff out quickly. They need to actually send letters. And if you're sending letters to all these different states, it takes a while to write them in the first place. Yeah. So here's my phone tree or phone chain. This is how it was. This is my soccer team from like fourth grade. No joke. So coaches calling to tell everybody that the game's canceled. Because back then you couldn't text everybody.
Right.
Because we had like a phone on the wall. And that's like how you called people. Yeah. So coach didn't have to call everybody on the team. What he did is he'd call me and he'd call Nick, my friend Nick Samsel. Mm-hmm. And so my job then is to call two people. I'd call Toby and Phil. And then Nick would call John and Jerry. And then each of them would call two people. So that's how they did it. They'd send a letter to a couple places. Mm-hmm. They'd basically make copies of it and send it to more places. Mm-hmm. So everybody gets the news quickly. Really smart way of doing it. It's exponential growth here. Math.
But hold on.
What?
They didn't have like an airplane. They didn't have... How did they, there were no roads. So how are they actually... it's not like they could phone a friend.
Right. Yeah.
Like, how did they actually...
these are like real handwritten letters. And they're going to have guys on horses. Horseback is the way to do it. Giddy up. And we're going to have a really important one of these guys sneak up later in this committee. I don't want to spoil too much. Right. But I really do. But I won't.
No cars, no bicycles. You're riding on a horse to the next destination. Wow.
So, Boston decides they're going to do a little protest against this whole Tea Act thing. So they got their groups to let people know, but now they're like Sons of Liberty. They're going to do their part. And so they're going to dress up like Native Americans. What? That's how they're going to protest.
That had to be Sam's idea.
What? Speaking of Sam, like that, Boston Tea Party. This is a play on the Sam Adams tea. You guys see there? Oh, it's special brew. We're at the Boston Tea Party now. So
Sam Adams just keeping it live with the Sons of Liberty. So the Boston Tea Party was a response to the Tea Act. Mm-hmm. So in response to the Tea Act, members of the Sons of Liberty threw a large amount of tea into the Boston Harbor. So this is where you see them come together, create some type of way to truly protest, to show Parliament, to show the British who were stationed still in the or not stationed but living in the colonies, living amongst the colonies.
Right.
You see them say, you're not going to create this monopoly and make us buy tea from who you want us to buy tea from.
We'd rather
you're not going to make me go to Burger King to buy tea and I want to go to McDonald's.
That's right.
And so they throw all this tea into the harbor. They dress up like Native Americans. But why would they have to disguise themselves?
Because you're traitors if you're doing something like this. You're breaking the law. They don't want to get caught. And don't worry, no one actually thought they were Native Americans. They were like really bad Halloween costumes, like the whole type of thing going on, like really racist way of doing it.
So basically, they were just too light skinned to be Native American.
Yeah, a little bit. So they got their face paint on and like feathers, and that's about it. But you couldn't tell who they were.
Makeup on or anything.
No. Yeah, so they're covered up. So they go and do this, and England's gonna freak out about this.
Oh my goodness.
Big time.
They mess with their tea and how they made their money from this tea company.
This is a lot of money they ruin here.